Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering how to use ChatGPT to write a book. Understanding how to use it can help make your book sharper, more informative, and cut the time that it will take to write the book. By the end of this video, you will learn how ChatGPT can help you with outlining and with ideas, but why you should do your own writing instead of having ChatGPT write your book. And stay tuned till the end of the video for a free opportunity. Let's dive in. ChatGPT is great for book outlining. All you have to do is enter a prompt and it will give you an outline in a matter of moments on any topic. It's really exciting. You can sit there, watch it go. Here's my outline. It's that simple. It really is. It's awesome. It's a great process, and it's super productive when you are struggling at the beginning of a project to figure out what the project's about and where you want to go with it. You can really come up with a lot of great ideas and insights on how to structure the book based on ChatGPT, and it will also shorten the timeline it takes to do the outlining. Typically, without ChatGPT, before it was launched in late 2022, it would take me weeks, if not months sometimes, to really hammer down the outline of a book. Because you have to really talk through the entire project, you have to talk through every chapter, figure out what each chapter is about, figure out what the hook is about, the main central theme of the book. And with ChatGPT, it takes all that work away, it takes all that effort away. It gives you a starting point. And that's the key thing. It's a starting point. It's not the end goal. It's not the finished outline. It's a starting point. So then you can go back and say, this works, this doesn't work. I like these ideas. I like how these chapters are structured. This makes sense to me. You can even go deeper on not just getting titles and chapter ideas, but then actually getting summaries on each of the chapters, each of the key points. So you could break it down by bullet points. This is all in ChatGPT. It's really fascinating, and I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it because it will cut down so much time on your project. The other way that ChatGPT is super helpful is with coming up with ideas. So many times I'll have meetings as a ghostwriter with clients about specific topics, taxes, for example, or revenue, or businesses and opportunities. And I will go to ChatGPT and type in prompts. Give me ideas about blank. Give me ideas about transaction models. Give me ideas about taxes. Give me ideas about this or that. And then when I go and meet with the client, I have all these ideas. I'm armed with information and knowledge that I can share with them and dig deeper on their insights. You know, it helps me dig deeper on the topics that I'm covering as a ghostwriter. Because as a ghostwriter, I'm typically not an expert on the subject matter that I'm writing about. Sometimes I am, but most of the times I'm not. I'm coming into it as a curious observer, somebody who knows a little bit about the topic but is learning more. I'm really, as a ghostwriter, the person who's providing story ideas and helping to tell the story and relying on the expertise of the person I'm working with and taking their stories and ideas and bringing those forward. The more I can dig deeper into what they do and how they operate and the things that matter to them, the better the conversation's going to go and the deeper the chapters are going to go. So the process through ChatGPT is massive. You know, the thought that I can enter prompts and get ideas to talk about and then use those talking points to make a better book is a great thing. Another key point to make about ChatGPT is that it is a reference. It is a resource, not a source. It is not the source of the material itself. The information that ChatGPT provides is often factually inaccurate, especially for nonfiction topics. So it's important to keep that in mind. It's a tool, it's a reference guide, it's a opportunity, but it's not the be-all end-all, and it's not a thing you should reference when you are writing. It's not a reference tool. I look at it very similarly to Wikipedia. Wikipedia is also a gathering place of information that's been collected from the internet. And I will go on Wikipedia, and if I'm interested in learning more, I will look at the links at the bottom of the page, little footnotes and the links, because the links are the main sources. They're the source material. If you can dig through to the source material, it's going to be so much better. And ChatGPT has rolled out models that look a little bit like that in terms of footnoting, in terms of explaining where information comes from. You should be focusing on original source materials as much as you can, because otherwise you really don't know where information's coming from and how accurate it is. It's important to be able to be mindful and to be tactful about where you're gathering information from And with ChatGPT, you really don't know where that information's coming from. You want your book to be unique. You want it to be your book. You want it to be special. And it won't be as special and it won't be as unique if you're relying on the greater internet to provide content for it. I've seen so many manuscripts over the past year or so that rely on ChatGPT for text and material. It all feels so flat and it all feels so lackluster. The text and material being provided, it's not unique, it's not special, and I don't know if it's high value or not. You know, it's really tough to know, it's tough to discern. And people rely on it for book writing, and I don't blame them. Look, it's really great to be able to say you wrote a book and to have your name on the cover and to be able to sell it and promote it, or even to offer it as a free plus shipping opportunity on your website. I think it's great. And look, there's some areas of opportunity for being able to take ideas from ChatGPT and blend them in with your own writing, but I just really feel like the information being offered in ChatGPT is very rote and very redundant. And I look at business examples that are often cited. Patagonia, the company, is often talked about in very high terms. And I've already seen it being listed in 2 or 3 ChatGPT written manuscripts that I looked at. It's basically like everybody's getting the same information and putting it in a book. People want to read new things. They want to read different things. They don't want to read things that have been written already. You know, if you're taking all the collective writing of the world and writing a book based on it, it's going to be pretty boring. You know, people want to hear your story. They want to hear what you have to say, individually and personally, what's in your heart. The other issue to consider with ChatGPT is the copyright issue. There's been multiple lawsuits involving copyright infringement and ideas and material being taken from other sources, reputable sources, and churned out in ChatGPT content. And that's a scary thing. You could unwittingly find yourself in a copyright dispute or a plagiarism dispute because you pulled this writing from ChatGPT. That's a scary thing, and it's something to keep in mind because those issues can derail your career, they can derail your reputation. With plagiarism scandals cropping up across our society, it's super critical that your stories are your stories, that you're not trying to pass off someone else's material as your own. And with ChatGPT, you can't be 100% sure that the writing that you're using is not somebody else's. It's better to find the original sources and credit whoever's words and ideas they were originally, or to write your own and present them as new material because it's coming from you directly. You can avoid any kind of issues that way and write a book that's unique. If you want to learn more about book writing and ghostwriting, head to my website, goodghostwriter.com. Click the link below. There you can sign up for my emails to receive free tips about writing opportunities, ghostwriting insights, and you can also schedule a free one-on-one strategy call with me so we can talk about your book directly and we can figure out the best path forward for your book. For videos on similar topics, feel free to like and subscribe to this channel. Remember, good ghostwriting makes great books. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.